Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be exploring Sri Sri Ravi Shankar.
Oh, wow.
You might know him as Gurudev.
Yes.
And your sources
Yeah.
paint a really fascinating picture of this spiritual leader who's not just, about like meditation and yoga, but he is known for a pretty famous breathing technique.
Okay.
But he's also deeply involved in global peacemaking.
Interesting.
In fact,
Yeah.
he played a key role in ending a 52-year civil war
What?
in Colombia.
Wow.
So how did he do it?
I don't know how.
What's the secret to his approach?
Yeah.
We're going to uncover that and more as we trace his path
Okay.
from a spiritually gifted child to a global peacemaker.
That's incredible.
So
yeah,
it's really intriguing how his
seems-
life story just kind of seems to intertwine inner peace with global peacemaking.
Yeah.
He was practically born into the world of spirituality.
Right.
Growing up in India, surrounded by ancient teachings and practices.
Oh, yeah. Definitely shaped by that for sure.
It's like he had a head start on seeking those deeper truths.
Yeah.
One of the sources mentioned
Okay.
that even as a child,
Yeah.
he was drawn to meditation and pondering
Wow.
those big existential questions.
Huh.
Not your average kid's pastime.
Not at all.
So it makes you wonder how much of his path was shaped by this
Right.
early immersion
Yeah.
in India's rich spiritual heritage.
For sure.
It's like this upbringing laid the groundwork for his life's mission. And then there's this
Okay.
almost cinematic moment in 1981. Okay,
Yep.
picture this.
Yeah.
Gurudev is deep in meditation on the banks of a river in India. And boom,
Okay.
he conceives the Sudarshan Kriya,
Wow.
which is a rhythmic breathing technique.
Okay.
Now, what's fascinating to me
Yeah.
is that this technique
Yeah.
didn't stay confined to
Yeah.
some secluded ashram or something.
Right.
It became the cornerstone of his teachings and the foundation for the Art of Living Foundation, which is now active in over 180 countries.
That's incredible.
So it makes you wonder, what makes the Sudarshan Kriya so unique and impactful
right.
compared to other meditation or breathing practices?
I mean, is it
This,
the specific rhythm? Is it the combination of the techniques
yeah,
or something else entirely?
right.
And how did this one practice spark such a massive global movement?
Yeah.
It's a story of a spiritual practice breaking free from its origins to touch millions of lives.
It's certainly not your typical meditation story.
Right.
And this reach speaks volumes about Gurudev's
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah.
It's clearly resonating with people across
yeah.
cultures and backgrounds. He's not pushing a specific religion or dogma,
Yeah.
but he focuses on universal themes like love, service,
Okay.
and finding inner peace. Those are things anyone can connect with,
Yeah.
regardless of their beliefs.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
that's a crucial point.
That is.
He doesn't force his worldview on anyone,
Right.
but he invites people to tap into their own innate goodness.
Oh.
It's almost like he's saying,
Yeah.
hey, look within.
Yeah.
You already have what you need.
Right.
And that's powerful,
It is.
but
yeah.
it's not all just inward reflection.
Right.
His peacemaking efforts are equally remarkable.
Oh, yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, helping to end a 52-year civil war in Colombia, that's not something you hear every day.
That's not something you hear every day.
No. So what's striking about his involvement in Colombia
Yeah.
is that he didn't just call for peace from afar.
Right.
He actually rolled up his sleeves and got involved.
Wow.
He facilitated dialogue between the government
Mm-hmm.
and FARC rebels.
Okay.
He was right there in the thick of it,
Oh.
advocating for forgiveness and understanding.
That's pretty incredible.
You'd think a spiritual leader
Yeah.
might be out of their depth
You would think.
in such a situation,
Yeah.
but he seemed to thrive in that role.
Wow.
So think about the challenges he must have faced.
I mean, decades.
Decades of deeply ingrained animosity,
Yeah.
suspicion,
Mm-hmm.
violence.
Right.
To bridge that divide
Yeah.
takes more than just words.
I think so.
It takes a deep understanding of human nature,
Mm-hmm.
an ability to build trust,
Yeah.
and an unwavering commitment to peace.
And how did he approach those negotiations?
Yeah.
What were his strategies?
That's what I want to know.
There's a lot we can learn from studying his methods.
Yeah.
I think so. So it's fascinating how he navigated those complex dynamics in Colombia. He didn't take sides or impose solutions,
Right.
but instead focused on creating a space for dialogue. urging both sides to see their shared humanity.
So,
It wasn't about forcing a resolution, but fostering genuine understanding and forgiveness.
sounds like he took a very human-centered approach.
Yes.
Recognizing that even in the midst of conflict,
Yeah,
people still yearn for connection and peace.
for sure.
And his peacemaking efforts weren't limited to Colombia.
Right.
He also played a significant role in Iraq
Okay.
during the sectarian violence between Sunni and Shia factions.
That's right. He stepped in as a mediator there, too.
Wow.
Convening peace talks and facilitating dialogue between groups that had been locked in a cycle of violence for years.
Yeah.
He recognized that lasting peace couldn't be achieved through military force alone.
Right.
It required addressing the root causes of the conflict, the anger, the fear, the trauma that fueled the violence.
Oh, wow.
So he also spearheaded trauma relief programs, providing support and healing for those affected by the war.
It's that holistic approach again.
It is.
Connecting the inner work of healing with the outer work of peace building. And he brought that same approach to the Ayodhya Ram Mandir dispute in India.
Right.
This is a long-standing religious conflict.
It is.
I have to admit, before I read these sources,
Yeah.
I had no idea how many conflicts he'd been involved in.
It's impressive, isn't it?
It is.
He consistently steps into these incredibly challenging situations, whether it's a civil war, religious conflict, or the aftermath of a natural disaster. He sees a need and responds with compassion and action.
And it's not just about resolving the immediate crisis,
Right.
but also about building a foundation for lasting peace and harmony.
It is.
So in Sri Lanka, for instance, he worked with both Tamil and Sinhalese communities
Yes.
during the civil unrest there. Again, emphasizing dialogue and reconciliation.
Yeah.
It seems like he truly believes in the power of human connection to overcome
Right.
even the most deeply entrenched divisions.
Absolutely. He seems to operate from this deep conviction that peace is possible.
Yeah.
Even in the most seemingly hopeless situations. And he doesn't shy away from the messiness of it all.
Yeah.
He's willing to get his hands dirty, to sit down with people who hold opposing views, and to listen with empathy and understanding.
It's a powerful example of what it means to walk the talk.
It is.
He's not just preaching peace from a distance.
Right.
He's actively engaging in the difficult work of building it.
Yeah.
One conversation,
Yeah.
one act of compassion at a time,
Yeah.
but all this global peacemaking,
Yeah.
the large-scale initiatives,
Right.
the tens of millions of followers.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the big picture. What about Gurudev, the person?
The sources paint a picture of someone surprisingly down to earth and approachable.
Right.
Despite his global stature,
Yeah.
he's known for his simplicity.
I read this anecdote in one of the books that
Okay.
really captures that side of him.
Yeah.
Apparently, after a big event at the Art of Living ashram,
Yeah.
he surprised a group of volunteers
Okay.
by joining them in cleaning the dishes.
Wow.
He just rolled up his sleeves and got to work alongside everyone else.
That's pretty remarkable.
No special treatment,
Yeah.
no airs of being above it all,
Right.
just a simple act of service.
It's that humility that seems to resonate with so many people. He doesn't put himself on a pedestal.
Right.
He leads by example, showing that even the smallest acts of kindness and service can make a difference.
And it's not just about serving others.
Right.
It's about recognizing our interconnectedness
Yeah.
and the importance of working together.
Yeah. It's a very different leadership style than what we often see in the world,
Right.
where power and authority are often used to separate and elevate.
Exactly.
He's empowering others to recognize their own potential for good.
Which, when you think about it,
Yeah.
aligns perfectly with his philosophy of tapping into that innate goodness
Right.
within each of us.
You're exactly right. He's not just teaching about inner peace. He's embodying it in his interactions with others,
Right.
in his leadership style, and in his approach to global challenges.
And it's this authenticity that seems to draw people to him.
Yeah.
So let's delve a little deeper into his teachings.
Okay.
From what I've gathered,
Yeah.
it's not just about meditation and breathing techniques.
Right.
There's a whole philosophy underpinning his approach to life.
There is.
So what would you say are some of the key principles?
Well, one core principle is the idea of living a stress-free and fulfilled life in harmony with oneself and others.
Okay.
But it goes beyond just personal happiness.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that true fulfillment comes from connecting with something larger than ourselves, whether it's through service, creativity, or simply appreciating the beauty of the present moment.
So it's not about escaping the world,
No.
but finding our place within it and contributing to its well-being.
Right.
And that includes taking care of the environment, right?
Absolutely.
Because the Art of Living Foundation isn't just about inner peace.
Yes.
They're also heavily involved in social and environmental initiatives.
They have programs focused on sustainable agriculture, reforestation, renewable energy,
Okay.
and providing access to clean water.
So it's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things.
It is.
And understanding that we can't have lasting peace and well-being
Right.
without addressing the environmental challenges we face.
It's like he's trying to create a blueprint for a more sustainable and harmonious world, addressing these interconnected issues on multiple fronts.
And it's not just a top-down approach.
Right.
He's also empowering individuals to take action in their own communities.
Yeah, that's right. He often emphasizes the importance of individual responsibility and the power of collective action.
Yeah.
He believes that even small changes in our daily lives can have a ripple effect.
I love that.
And contribute to positive change on a larger scale.
It's a message of hope and empowerment.
It is.
It reminds us that we're not just passive bystanders.
Right.
We all have a role to play in creating a better world. And it seems like a key part of that role is empowering women, right?
Absolutely.
Because the Art of Living Foundation is very active in that area.
They have numerous programs aimed at promoting women's empowerment.
Okay.
Providing education skills, training, and leadership opportunities.
So it's about breaking down social and economic barriers.
It is.
And creating a more equitable world where women can thrive.
Yes.
It's fascinating how all these different threads,
It is.
from inner peace to social justice to environmental sustainability, are interwoven in his teachings and his work.
It's a truly holistic vision.
It is. And it speaks to his belief that peace isn't just the absence of war or conflict. It's a state of being.
Right.
A way of life that encompasses all aspects of our existence.
Yeah.
From our individual thoughts and actions to our relationships with others and with the planet as a whole.
Yes.
It's inspiring.
It is.
But I have to admit, it's also a bit daunting.
I can understand that.
It's like, how do we even begin to live up to that vision?
That's a great question, and one that probably resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, it feels like a massive undertaking.
It is.
To bring that level of peace and harmony into not just our own lives, but the world at large. But maybe that's where that feeling of being daunted comes in.
Okay.
You know, we're thinking too big, too far ahead.
It's easy to get overwhelmed when we focus on the enormity of the task.
Right.
But what if instead of trying to change the whole world at once, we start with ourselves?
Okay.
Gurudev emphasizes the importance of inner transformation as a catalyst for outer change.
So rather than getting stuck in that, like, how do we fix everything mindset, we shift to, what can I do differently today?
Exactly.
I like that it feels more manageable.
And those small individual shifts can have a ripple effect.
Right.
Remember that anecdote about Gurudev washing dishes with the volunteers?
Yes.
It wasn't a grand gesture.
Right.
But it exemplified humility, service, and connection.
Right.
Those seemingly small actions can inspire others and create a more positive atmosphere.
It's like that saying, be the change you want to see in the world.
It is.
It's not about waiting for someone else to fix things.
Right.
But taking responsibility for our own thoughts, words, and actions.
Exactly.
And if enough people embrace that mindset, maybe that's how we start to shift the collective consciousness toward peace and harmony.
It's a beautiful idea, isn't it?
It is.
And it aligns with Gurudev's emphasis on the interconnectedness of all things.
Right.
Our individual actions do matter. They contribute to the overall energy and direction of the world.
This deep dive has really opened my eyes to the depth and breadth of his work.
It is a lot to take in.
It is a lot. We've covered his spiritual journey,
Yeah.
his peacemaking efforts, his leadership style,
Right.
his teachings.
His social and environmental initiatives.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is.
But I think the key takeaway,
Yeah.
the thread that runs through all of it, is this unwavering belief in the human potential for good.
He sees the light in everyone, even those who've committed terrible acts.
Right.
And he believes that transformation is always possible.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
Especially in a world that often feels so divided and cynical.
It's a reminder that we don't have to be defined by our past mistakes
Right.
or by the conflicts that surround us.
Yeah.
We can choose to embody peace, compassion, and understanding.
And that choice,
Right.
that individual commitment to inner transformation is ultimately what will create a more peaceful and harmonious world.
It's not about waiting for some external force to intervene.
Right.
It's about recognizing our own agency and power to create positive change.
So as we wrap up this exploration of Gurudev's life and work, I'm left with this question for you, dear listener.
Okay.
What resonated with you the most?
Yeah.
What insights or ideas stood out to you? And most importantly, how can you apply those principles of peace and inner harmony to your own life?
That's a good question.
To your relationships, your community, or even the world at large?
It's an invitation to reflect on what we've learned.
Yeah.
And to consider how we can embody these principles in our own unique ways.
Right.
Perhaps it's by practicing forgiveness in a challenging relationship.
Okay.
By volunteering our time to a cause we believe in. Or simply by choosing to approach each day with a little more kindness and compassion.
Every step we take in that direction, no matter how small, contributes to a brighter future.
It does.
For ourselves and for generations to come.
I agree.
If this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and you're eager to learn more, I encourage you to explore Gurudev's teachings and the work of the Art of Living Foundation.
That's a great idea.
There's a wealth of wisdom and inspiration waiting to be discovered.